7.8 degrees right now, and we're going for an expected maximum of 15 today, and we're going to have a rather interesting discussion now. It's very interesting for me. I'm a bit of a space cadet. And we have One Giant Leap Foundation representative Vivienne Hughes in the studio, and also Matthew Redway, who's a Year 11 student out at the Christian College, and we're going to be talking about the One Giant Leap Foundation, which I might surmise is basically saying it gives incredible opportunities to young people to consider their future. Vivienne, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, that's correct. Opportunities that you wouldn't normally find in Wagga Wagga, or especially in the country, and that's what I like about it and my role in the foundation, bringing these opportunities to the bush.
It's something fairly new for Wagga as well.
Look, the weekend that we've got coming up is going to be amazing, something, that Wagga hasn't seen before. As far as One Giant Leap goes, the founders, Jackie and Bob Carpenter, are Sydney-based.
Yep.
I got to know them through my son, who was still is an avid aviator, learning to fly model aeroplanes.
Yep, okay.
Out at the field here. Jackie said to me, why don't you get a group of kids together and bring them to space camp with me? Because she's been taking kids to space camp for about 15 years. Every year she does a trip.
Well, there's a fair amount of emphasis these days on technology and science, communications, etc. in the curriculum in the school system these days.
That's right, yeah.
Matthew, would you agree that more and more kids these days are taking an interest in these sort of technologies?
Yeah, I think that more people at school are taking in more STEM subjects, and I find that they're really getting into the different space and engineering sort of areas, and it gives them a great experience in math, science, anything technical, and I find that it's the future.
Now, what exactly is STEM?
So STEM is science, technology, engineering and math.
Great.
And so it's more of thinking outside the box sort of subject. And so I did it last year at school and the year before that.
Oh, okay.
And I found that it was actually really, really good and really interesting.
Fantastic. It's a big thing for Wagga to have 5 NASA engineers attending for a weekend. I mean, that's just an incredible base of knowledge that they can pass on.
It sure is. These guys and girls are leaders in their field, working for the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in NASA. Some of them are actively working on the Mars rover project at the moment.
Gee.
One of them, Mike Malaska, who currently is on top of the Greenland ice sheet for 3 weeks, spending 4 days at home and then back to on a plane to Australia for a month's visit. And all scopes of astrobiology. Rachel is an inventor. She invented a technique where people with communication difficulties can relay their thoughts to a computer, which turns it into speech.
That's just amazing. Look, I was reading about that. That's the Blissable printer.
Yes, yeah. Amazing. People that live in their own contained world because they have communication difficulties now can just think, and it transforms into speech, which is amazing.
When are people going to start running out of ideas? That's what worries me.
Never. And that's what this foundation is all about, is creating this inspiration and spark of inquisitive thoughts from kids, and giving them the opportunities and the pathways to be able to realise that they're not just dreams. They can do it.
Okay. Now, the space camp is actually over in Alabama.
Correct.
You've been to one yourself, I believe.
I've been to a couple, yes.
Right.
Yeah. First time I did the adult program, so it's not just for kids. It's for anyone from 8 to 80. They have a particular adult program. But they're all, space camp is a place where kids can go, and adults, and they get to challenge themselves and think outside the square, build rockets, launch rockets, experience some of the training that astronauts go through, like zero gravity and the 360-degree rotating seat and things like that.
Gee.
Yeah. Amazing.
Now, the week is the 27th and the 28th of July.
Yep.
It's going to be held at Kildare College. We're going to be putting some community information announcements up until that time, so I encourage our listeners to stay tuned. This is a very important opportunity for young people. How much does the weekend actually cost to participate?
It's $50 plus GST and booking fee, I think, for 2 days of interaction and building relationships with these guys, because you might go for the 2 days, but you're going to interact with these guys and more than likely get their contact details, email addresses or whatever, and be able to, especially for schools, for teachers to come along and experience this and build some relationships with these guys is going to be amazing.
That's an incredibly well-costed opportunity for a weekend. It's
affordable.
Yeah.
And then on the Sunday there's an additional field trip. Mike, who's currently on the ice sheet, is going to take some people. We've sort of capped it at about 2 little minibus fulls at the moment, over to Yarrangobilly Caves and do some exploration over there from an astrobiologist's point of view. And funnily enough, the caves at Yarrangobilly have a connection with Titan, one of Saturn's moons.
Well, I'm interested. I'll reserve a seat for me. I'll be there.
Yeah, and that's and I think that is about $70 extra for the day. That's a full day from, I think we're going to leave at 7:30 and back about 5 or something like that.
How many people does the actual weekend accommodate?
We've got up to 800 people.
That's just brilliant. And where are they coming from? Just around the Wagga area? Or?
I've advertised it far and wide, so I'm hoping that people will come from outside, but further west, further north, further south, and we've got people from Albury. We've got people that have actually booked tickets that are from Adelaide and Melbourne that are coming. So,
that's good.
Yeah.
Now, just back to you very quickly, Matthew. Being in Year 11, you're 16, 17?
Yep.
What do you want to do with your future? What are you going to do after the HSC?
So my plan is to become a pilot, either Rex, Qantas, Virgin, one of the airlines. And I was thinking the RAF, and I still am. I thought that being a commercial pilot would be a bit more fun, you could say. Yeah. Like, I thought it would be a bit better of an experience having someone next to you flying around. Right. I find that the money's also good. With Qantas, you get to go overseas, so you travel for a living, and you get to do it while flying aircraft. So I thought it'd be really fun. And with that, I'm also an Air Force cadet. So this is how I found out about One Giant Leap, through cadets, through friends. And so Carl Hughes went on it about 2-3 years ago, and I saw that, thought it was really cool, and then went, hey, I should get into this. This could lead somewhere in my future. So I thought that would be a really good experience to go on, and luckily this year I got a scholarship and I'm actually going over.
Yeah, great. I would imagine as a cadet, Air Force cadet at the moment, you've already had a little bit of flying experience.
Yep, so I have about 10-11 hours flying.
Fantastic.
It's really fun. I find it's quite enjoyable for me. It's a passion, and going to space as well, it links in between aircraft and spaceships and stuff, so I thought that was a really cool link, and something I'd be able to do in 16 and 17. I thought that it would be a really good experience to go over and have a look at.
You sound to me like a young man who knows how to take advantage of opportunities and how to network with the community.
Yeah, so I find that whatever I see, I put my foot in and have a go.
Good on you, mate. And I hope that you're an example to a lot of other young people as well. Thank you very much, Vivienne, for coming in.
Can I just add to that too? This weekend we're talking about ticket prices and costings and things like that. It's the One Giant Leap Foundation is a not-for-profit organisation. So any money raised after we cover our costs for the weekend is going into the foundation to be given to students like Matthew as scholarships, so that they can get to space camp and realise their dreams as well.
Fantastic. Look, you're doing a great thing for the community. We really appreciate it. It's going to be a wonderful thing for Wagga. I would encourage anybody with an interest to get involved in this. As I say, we're going to be putting community information announcements over prior to the event, so you'll have every opportunity to get engaged, book your tickets. It's incredibly well priced for what you actually will get.
And I urge people to get in and get their tickets. They're selling well, but Dubbo have their sights on this to take it away from us next year.
Oh, we can't have that.
Yeah, so they've already expressed interest and made offers and things like that, the Chamber of Commerce up there. So I'm urging our Chamber Chamber of Commerce and council and whoever else to get behind it and support it, because otherwise we'll lose it.
Thank you very much, Vivienne, and thank you too, Matthew. All the best to you, mate.
Thank
you
you.
very much.